welcome back to this week's edition of Coach's Corner. I'm Sabrina Slagle, sitting down with head men's and women's tennis coach Dave Hayden. Coach, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. It's a nice day outside, so looking forward to the practice today.
Yeah. So the season opener is coming up against W&J on Sunday. What are you kind of working on to prepare for that as a team?
Well, since we weren't able to do much competition in the fall at all, we had a lot of work to do this spring trying to get the lineups put together. We've got a lot of depth on both the men's and the women's team, so we're just excited trying to put all the right people in the right spots and face off against W&J on Sunday.
So that was my next question. What are you anticipating going into a match against the defending PAC champions?
Well, I think it's a great start, a great way to test the team right off the bat. Both men's and women's teams of W&J are the defending champs. So kind of will give us a good benchmark right away as to kind of where we sit and what we need to work on and go from there.
So going back to last season, you lost number 1 and 2 singles players and your number one doubles team, which was very strong, Margot Mason and Alex Marzuka. How do you plan, especially with doubles, to sort of fill those shoes and get back up to that spot for this season?
Well, we're fortunate that on both sides we had a good recruiting class, so we do have some strong freshmen that are going to be able to compete right away. And we're just working now. Like I said, with our depth, we have a lot of options in doubles. So I kind of view it as sometimes it's like a chemistry class where you're just trying to play people together and try to find the best combination that we can.
So who are some key players to look out for this season? Well,
on the women's side, we have a couple returning seniors in Julia Serbati and Casey Barton. In the sophomore, the junior class, Sarah Small, yourself in the sophomore class, and then we have a couple young freshmen, Amanda Barrett from Florida and Caroline Fox from Southern California, who are going to play big roles.
Yeah,
and on the men's side, we have couple sophomores that really didn't get tested last year because they didn't have a season. So it's going to be great to kind of see how they focus. That's Jimmy Oberlin and Potter Oliver. And then we got, a couple seniors that are leading the way and a couple freshmen. So it's a great, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some new faces play. So what would be one thing moving forward? You can go men's side, you can go or women's side, doesn't matter. One thing moving forward that you think the team needs to work on moving into the season?
Well, it's just match experience for both. Since we haven't, the women competed in the fall last year, and then the men lost it for COVID, and then in our, both lost the fall season. So, a lot of them haven't played matches of consequence in a while. So I think it's just going to get back into the, getting ready to go out and grind out matches and compete, which I feel strong that we have a lot of competitive people on the team. So
yeah, I think so.
I think we'll get there quickly.
So this is more of a personal question for you, but most sports teams here are, kind of separated between men's and women's, and they have different coaches for each. So is it difficult? Like, how do you balance coaching both teams at the same time, especially now during COVID, when normally the seasons are separated, women's is in fall, men's is in spring. Now you have to do both. Is that sort of a difficult thing to balance for you?
Yeah, it is, because there's certain, places that we have to take some shortcuts, but there's some advantages to it as well, where, we get that a lot of times we have the men and the women in the court at the same time. So we're doing some work that way. And I think the competition between the two and, the games of the men's and the women's team kind of help each other out when they play each other. So it's a lot of work, We're trying to get there early for people that want to do some individual work on strokes and mechanics and things like that. And then, towards the second half of the day, we fall more back into, match play and match-related drills and things like that.
So my final question for you, I like to bring this up a lot with most coaches, is we're used to having, a packed schedule, playing a bunch of different schools, and then to go from that to only playing conference matches. How do you think that's going to affect the season, if at all?
It just makes every match more important. We luckily in a regular season, we have the ability to play, 4, 5, 6 matches that are non-conference. so the consequences aren't as serious as a pack match where everyone counts to the record. Everyone counts for your seeding as we get to the tournament. So, there's just a little less margin for error in the matches.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's about all I have for you today. Thanks again for sitting down with me. I appreciate your time.
Thanks. Yeah, and I wish all the Titan sports teams this spring best of luck.
Yep. I think everybody's excited to get back out there.
Yeah. Thanks,
Once
Sabrina.
again, I am Sabrina Slagle, sitting down with Coach Dave Hayden. Thanks again for tuning into Coach's Corner. We will see you next week.